Why do we need to reinvent ourselves? Because we believe that we are not 100% best, 100% right and true. Second, we believe that there is a possibility and there is a need of a positive change in myself for a better me. That's fine. Our Guru Param Pujya Mahant Swami Maharaj in the year 1986 had visited many countries around the world so that we can get better ideas for the coming up of Akshardham at Gandhinagar in Gujarat. How many of you have been there? Almost like 70% of you. So it was under construction and we wanted some good ideas to present ourselves there. Our ideas and ideology and everything. As part of that leg, they visited Germany, Stuttgart, where the principal manufacturing plant of Mercedes-Benz is located. So our Guru Hari Mahant Swami Maharaj and the group of saints, they visited there. The PR guide was taking them around. Every time while showing something new in the manufacturing department, in some unit, the PR guide would say that basically the fundamental concept of this is that in case of an accident, we want to save the lives. Anything may happen to the vehicle, but the life has to be saved. This is our principal motto in designing something new, in creating something new. At one point of time, the PR guide said with all pride, and he had the right, that we have come up with a new invention where in case of an accident, a balloon sprouts out between the wheel and that's the steering and the chest of the driver. So it works as a cushion and the steering doesn't gush into the chest of the driver. So now that was absolutely a new concept at that time. Today we find it in hundreds of vehicles. And the saints were really amazed that this is a brilliant concept. One of our saints simply asked that who actually creates the accident? The car or the driver? And he said, Swamiji, it is obvious the driver creates the accident because of some misjudgment, because of some overconfidence, because of some less of focus, whatever. Then the saint asked the second question, where actually we need to make more improvement? Well, improving technology is absolutely a need. We must. But at the same time, improvement in the human being is also a must. Best of technology in the worst of hands. And you know cyber crimes are increasing day by day. Best of technology in the worst of hands is a disaster. So with the upgradation of technology, we must upgrade the human attitudes, human behaviors, human thought processes. It has to be refined. And the word today is reinvent. We need to reinvent this. And the PR guide of Mercedes-Benz plant, he said, Swamiji, you are right. We need to work equally well on the improvement of the human being as well. So we need to reinvent. Why? See, we human beings are the best creation upon this earth. Of all the existence created by nature and God, human beings are the only existence where we have been given the power to think, the power to collect information, the power to transform that information into knowledge, and the ultimate power to transform that knowledge into wisdom. So of all the existence, we are the only one that we have that power to convert information into knowledge and knowledge into wisdom. If we don't use it rightly to ultimately convert all information into wisdom, we cease to become human beings. We are just like any other animals and existence upon this earth. So not to become animals in the 21st century, we need to reinvent ourselves as human beings. We have transformed a lot of information into knowledge. And that is why this technology and so much in the management field, social relationship field, in the health field. But we are yet to convert a sizable amount of that knowledge into wisdom. Why I say this? $2,000 billion is the annual defense budget of the world. Intelligent people reside upon this earth, isn't it? Intelligent people sit in the United Nations, isn't it? Intelligent people sit in the United Nations Security Council, isn't it? Intelligent people are heads of the states, isn't it? Yes or no? And $2,000 billion is the annual defense budget of the world, and that too in the year 2021 at the peak of Corona. Are you here to fight and kill each other? You want to make this beautiful planet a hell? $2,000 billion if it is cut by just 50% by cutting the new R&D in the defense budget. You need army, you need navy, you need air force. You need arms to protect your country, to guard against terrorism, to help during social unrest, everything. But if just the new R&D, top 25 countries of the world, if they decide, top 25 democratic countries of the world, if they decide to stop the new R&D of arms by just 50%, $1,000 billion will be saved every year. For the next 25 years, if it is done, health, education, housing, everything free for everybody upon this earth. Such is the potential. लेकिन फिर झगड़ेंगे कौन? What animals do in jungles, what street dogs do at 12 midnight and 1 a.m. जब पूरा शांत हो जाता है. Just 12 hours after that, we with 3-piece suits do in corporate offices. लगता है कि नहीं रीइन्वेंट करना पड़ेगा अपने आप को? Are we here for this? Sometimes the last phone call by a delegate before entering the United Nations Peace Summit is an arms deal. ये भी एक हकीकत है, इसलिए रीइन्वेंट करना पड़ेगा अपने आप को. The last phone call by a delegate before entering into the international peace meet, वो क्या है? आर्म्स डील का फोन है. वो पूरा करके सीधा पीस मीट में बैठता है. हाँ, शांति तो चाहिए भाई साहब, तेरे को रीइन्वेंट करना पड़ेगा. California, the state of the United States, throws into the Pacific Ocean hundreds of thousands of tons of wheat every year. Just because of one reason, that the price doesn't go down in the international market. But they don't send a single ship to Ethiopia or any African country. We need to reinvent ourselves to help humanity. In 1960, at the Annual General Assembly of the United Nations, the then Secretary General U Thant, he said that the plane of United Nations is flying at a very high altitude. It is going at a tremendous speed, but it doesn't know in which direction it is going. He confessed that in 1960. And it is right. More wars have been fought after the creation of the United Nations than in the creation of that before that. 1945, the United Nations was created at the end of the World War II, actually to stop the World War II. In the last 70, 80 years after the creation of the United Nations, more war have been fought than in the 200 years before that. क्या किया आपने भाई साहब? We need to reinvent ourselves. 30,000 scientists all over the world are working 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 and 18 hours a day in their laboratories to make bombs, missiles and weapons of mass destruction. क्या कर रहे हो? These bombs and missiles are not made by illiterate people. Huh? They are made by scientists. Some of them graduates from some of the finest universities in the world. शिक्षण अच्छा पाया, संस्कार नहीं पाए. They got education from some of the best universities in the world. They are graduates, postgraduates, and they are PhDs. But they did not reinvent themselves to tell themselves that my knowledge should be used for the betterment of humanity, not to wipe out human populations from upon this earth. If this 30,000 scientists had decided to drive out corona from upon this earth right from the March, April of 2020, we would not have lost, the world would not have lost 2 years. अगर ये 30,000 साइंटिस्ट इसमें लग जाते. लेकिन वो बुद्धि नहीं चली, वो भावना प्रकट नहीं हुई. क्यों? अपने आप को रीइन्वेंट करके ये बोला नहीं कि मैं साइंटिस्ट बाद में हूं, पहले एक ह्यूमन बीइंग हूं. रीइन्वेंशन इज मेकिंग योरसेल्फ अ ह्यूमन बीइंग फर्स्ट. तो बहुत सारी चीजें मैंने आपको बताई. We need reinvention in ourselves a lot and in many spheres. ये करना बहुत जरूरी है. We need to reinvent and accept people, accept societies, accept countries. If somebody is growing fast and you produce a report by a research institute from America, it is not going to stop India's growth story. कोई हिंड्रेंस नहीं आएगा, चिंता मत करना. मैं नजदीक का शब्द बोला, कोई हिंड्रेंस नहीं आने वाला है. आप जैसे 50 रिपोर्ट तैयार करें तो भी कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. This year, this decade and this century belongs to my country, Mother India. इंग्लैंड के रेडियो स्टेशन ने एक डॉक्यूमेंट तैयार कर दी, उससे भारत को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला है. So when something has been proved right, something has been proved okay, why are you pinching? You are not able to accept India's growth story. क्योंकि आज according to the reports of many and most of the organizations, India is the fastest growing large economy of the world. और होने वाला है, होगा. तो आपको भाई साहब क्या परेशानी है? आपको क्या तकलीफ है? Reinvent yourself to do research, reinvent yourself to prepare a documentary in a way that helps humanity to grow. $45 trillion तो ऑलरेडी आप 200 साल में ले गए हो भाई साहब. रिसर्च हुई है, ये भी एक रिसर्च है और कोलंबिया यूनिवर्सिटी से बाहर आई है. $45 trillion looted during the colonial era from India. क्योंकि 200 साल में भारत की पर कैपिटा इनकम एक पैसा भी नहीं बढ़ी. What does that mean? You looted India. In 200 years of British Raj, not a single paise of per capita income in India increased. What does that mean? You looted, and now then you are producing documentaries. See, what I mean to say, we need to reinvent ourselves so that we become better human beings. Everybody knows killing. Very few know living. Very few know live and let live. And fewest of the few know live to let live. यहां तक अपने आप को रीइन्वेंट करना है.